So good morning dear students. So today we'll be talking about the post-production where we will talk about video editing. So video editing, as you know, that it is the removal of, in literal meaning, it is the removal of unwanted material during recording. So as film editors have demonstrated for decades, skillful editing can make a vital contribution to a production's impact. The way you interrelate shots will not only affect their visual flow, but will directly influence how your audience reacts to what they are seeing, their interpretation, their emotional responses. Poor editing can leave them confused. Proficient editing can create interest, tension, or build up excitement that has them on the edge of their seats. At worst, editing can degenerate into casual switching between shots. At best, it is a sophisticated, persuasive art form. So in one line we can say editing can make or mar the production. So an introduction to editing: to appreciate the skills of editing techniques, we need to study two diverse aspects of the craft. So number one, the mechanics, the ways in which editing is carried out, the aesthetics, the artistic impact that these techniques have on our audience. In film making, a specialist film editor aided by assistants is entirely responsible for the mechanics and techniques of the editing process. The material goes through a series of stages, from the initial rough cut to the final fine cut version of the film, which are reviewed and appraised by the director. In television production, we shall meet a number of quite different editing situations. Depending upon the nature of the show and how it is organized, editing can range from impulsive switching, example during a live sports event, to a painstaking empiricism possible when editing a taped drama. Technicalities can vary considerably with the equipment available and how it is used. Now let us look at these variants more closely. Editing techniques in television. Editing during a live show. How the director shoots live action will ultimately depend on whether the event is taking place in front of an audience, whether it is a public event on which the television camera is eavesdropping. So number third, whether the action is being staged specifically for the camera before an invited audience who participate or provide background reactions. There are two broad approaches. Number one is spontaneous selection. In the first, the director sits in the production control room, watching an array of picture monitors, spontaneously choosing and switching between the sources. Action is continuous and recorded just as it happens, that is live on tap. All the editing needed is carried out at the time on the production switcher. At most, a few corrective shots or inserts may be added later, or supplementary sound treatment introduced. Example, music or applause during brief post-production editing. Number second, pre-planned selection. In the second, the director adjusts each shot to comply with a carefully planned and prepared script, in which all the cutting points and transitions have been considered and marked beforehand. In each situation, the director or an assistant calls shots to cameras over the intercom system, and the technical director or a specialist, that is switcher, vision mixer. Occasionally, the director will operate the production switcher. Number second, editing during a videotaped show. When the show is essentially staged for taping, the director is free to record the action in its entirety or in a long or brief sequences. So all the editing titling effects may be carried out on the production switcher during performance, or left until a post-production, that's post-editing session. Consequently, the videotape editor may be faced with quite different tasks depending upon how the director has decided to shoot and interpret the material. Editing opportunities become much more flexible. Number one, small format dupe. A special method of working is to make a duplicate recording of all the production tapes on a small format VTR such as VHS system. A numeric time code burned into the pictures identifies each movement throughout. The director scrutinizes these working copy tapes and makes an edit digital list. This indicates which shots are to be used from the total material. The videotape editor then edits the show to this basic reference list to prepare a rough cut copy. Cutting to a script. So cutting to a script in another method, the videotape editor examines all the taped material, original or copy, and using the production script as a guide, edits this to produce a rough cut, which is then evaluated by the director. In third, submitted copy, where the videotape editor has been involved with the show from its planning stage and knows the director's general aims. He or she may examine the whole of the recorded material, selecting, arranging, and editing shots to produce a show copy which the director assesses. This approach may be used, for example, on a documentary program where narration is to be written after a disparate collection of shots have been fused into a coherent sequence. When the editor has created a master tab, further important contributory elements can be added: sound treatment, dialogue, narration, sound effects, music, etc., titling, subtitling, video effects, etc. Of course, these are the only bare bones of typical editing procedures. In reality, there is usually a very close working relationship between the director, the switcher, and the videotape editor. Each may contribute observations, suggestions, criticisms that can enhance the end product, might other members of the production team. So this was about this session. So hope you understood this session and go through it, and it will be followed by the editing basis, where we will talk about the editing genres, editing opportunities, the mechanics of editing. So up to then, goodbye, take care, Khuda Hafiz. So listen this properly. So editing is nothing but it is the removal of unwanted material which you have shot during production. So this removal of unwanted material is necessary in order to make the this program in a good flow. So the sequence has to be maintained, so we can add everything like dialogue, narration, and sound effects in editing sessions. Up to then, goodbye, take care, Khuda Hafiz. View this properly and send your this comments